The Commander of British Forces Germany has been speaking for the first time about the Army's rebasing plan, which means British troops will leave Germany completely in 5 years' time. We'll be hearing from Major General John Henderson in a moment, but first, what will happen to the valuable training areas that could be left behind? And what are the alternatives if they're closed? Ali Gibson has this report.
During the summer, the Germany ranges are full of visiting troops from the UK, keen to take advantage of the space on offer. For those based in BFG, the ranges in Hohne and Sennelager have always provided an excellent place to train that's close to home and big enough for an armoured brigade to release its firepower. 5th Battalion, the Rifles, have the Warrior contingent for 20th Armoured Brigade, and they've just completed a 3-week exercise in Sennelager, getting their platoons up to speed with live firing, both in and out of their vehicles. The varying terrain here offers the perfect place to practice tactical manoeuvres.
We were separated from our section, and we had to patrol up through the wood line to reach our section, but we had to eliminate the threat in the wood line just to get there safely.
You're quite compact in the range, which is good because you've got to look out for your mate on the other side. But on the wider ones, it's a bit easier. These ones are enjoying this one at the minute.
Out on a neighbouring range, even thick snow doesn't stop the Warrior crews.
After weeks in the classroom and then getting their driving skills up to speed, 5 Rifles are now out on the ranges, taking advantage of all this space to practice their live firing skills.
After operations last year for the battalion, it's a welcome return to what they do best.
They're loving it, It's very different. After Herrick 15 is a ground holding subunit, Op Olympics, and then the individual training phase to get back to platoon level activity in our normal, conventional armoured infantry role is an excellent opportunity.
A and D Company will complete battle group training in Canada this summer with the Queen's Royal Hussars, and Bathurst is one place that could pick up the slack once British troops leave Germany. But US bases Grafenwehr and Hohenfels in Bavaria offer another alternative, and last October British Forces News learnt that the Army was reviewing its future training area needs. In May, B Company 5 Rifles will head here for the multinational Battle Group Scale Exercise Bavarian Charger, following 3 Mercian who trained here last year. But with a training assessment likely to take 2 years, it may be some time until we find out whether BFG's vast training areas will go quiet. Ali Gibson, Forces News, Germany.
Well, Major General John Henderson says facilities in all the garrisons in Germany will be maintained right up until the day they shut down. Ali Gibson asked him whether he was confident his planning would be able to keep pace with the government's accelerated programme for the drawdown from Germany.
Yes, I am confident, yeah. It's a challenging schedule, and particularly if you start looking at the numbers that are moving, particularly in 2015, lesser extent 2014. And then, of course, the one thing that we weren't quite expecting was the thing of not before 17 for Parabon. So that's something that we have to work through and work out. That's a little bit sooner than we expected. But the others were, with the work being done in Army 2020, it's what we were expecting.
You yourself are currently based in a closing barracks. Do you think there are any lessons that can be learnt from the closure of JHQ for future drawdowns?
Yeah, there is. The trick is keeping, I think, a full variety of all the services, whether it's health, education, social work, transport, you name it, all the infrastructure services that we do, keep those going full pelt right to the end and then shut the whole place at once. So that's the intent. We're calling it cliff edge, for want of a better expression, and the idea is we'll run, for example, Bergen-Hohne and Fallingbostel right to the end. Everyone will, all the facilities will work for the families and the soldiers, and then after everyone's gone, we shut it down.
Because one of the things, I spoke to the AFF director in Germany the other day, and she said one of the things that families are concerned about is that infrastructure, is that barracks might everything will disappear before they themselves leave. Are you confident then that you can keep that up?
We will. That's priority one for me, is keep high quality services going right to the end. There's other things we're trying to do here to make quality of life better for the families, and things like the over-the-counter service for BFG vehicle registration. We're about to announce something on headlights. We're trying to reorganise the way that we do fuel. All those things to make life easier for the families, because that's important, that quality of life, and that Germany continues to be an attractive place to serve.
General, of course, there are some families that are happy to go back to the UK, but there are also many members of the German community here that are quite sad to see you leave, and they're worried about the future. What message do you have for them at the moment?
Well, I think there's two separate areas in the German community. There's those Germans, and indeed a number of British expatriate Brits who've worked for us for many years, and they're the people we will look after them. There's about 3,500 what we call locally employed civilians, DELs, known as directly employed labour. They will get very good packages. We will look after them in terms of retraining. More widely, of course, German communities. Now, some communities probably won't be that affected by us leaving. Others, and I would single out Bergen, for example, will really be affected by us leaving. I'm already in conversation, as are all my staff, with the Bürgermeisters, and at the state level, the Land, as the Germans call it, and then also the federal level, on what the Germans call Konversion, which is the conversion with a K. And that's what happens to these barracks after we've gone. Now that's obviously a German decision, but we can help the Germans with their planning in that area.
Finally, General, for those who are posted to Germany over the next few years, would you still say this is a good place to be?
I think it will, and as I say, we're doing all we can to try and make life easier, whether it's the way that we do tax-free shopping or whatever we happen to do. All those things we will keep going. Inevitably, though, people will say, well, we're not doing this because we're leaving, and that people will have those perceptions. We just need to enjoy the bits that are left.